Ever since I hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, every video I post, there's people in the comments saying we want a 2,000 subscriber burnout. I did it on the Harley. Obviously, my Jeep doesn't technically run or drive, so I found someone who's gonna do it for us. Thank you for 2,000 subscribers. Well, boys, what I whipped up for you today is going to be my most expensive video I've ever made.
Billions and billions and...
Literally. So, over the last year, I have been collecting parts for the steering of the front of my Jeep. It is a Ford Kingpin Dana 60 front axle. Whenever I bought it, the guy had an ugly single-ended ram with like a crooked tie rod on it, and I just couldn't live with it. So, in the background, I've been collecting parts, ordered a new set of knuckles through Crane. I have a PSC double-ended ram steering. We got bump stops, and we're gonna wrap up the project with a fancy Yukon one-of-one diff cover. Also in the video, we are going to be fabricating a ram mount. So, I'm not going to start with the disassembly of the factory knuckles because truthfully, it was violent and there was a lot of swear words. Piece of So where we're gonna be starting is actually me assembling the brand new Crane knuckles, and we're gonna work our way towards the center of the axle. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Just got these wrapped up and installed. Technically, I had to do it twice because I forgot to put the studs in and boogered up threads on this. So there's a little note to tap it before everything goes back together. Now, this is all dry fitted because the arms still need to come back off to be drilled for the ram. So next up, we need to go ahead and cut this giant chunk of metal off this axle.
6.5 hours later.
Surprise, new day, new haircut. Out here in the garage doing some R&D on where my ram mount is going to live on the front of the Jeep. As of right now, we have some jack stands holding up a 4x4, holding up two 2x4s, and then the PSC ram sitting on those. Now that recipe actually has this ram truthfully about the height that I want it. I should be able to run a link from the end of the ram right to the bottom of the arms, no problem. If I went any higher with it to get it on top of the arm, I'd probably run into where the radiator is. Now, since the height is figured out, we can go ahead and start working on the ram mount. I have a giant dry erase board and literally it's perfect for this project. I could find my marks, drop them straight down, find center, and pretty much draw up a perfect pattern of what I need before I have it on the Jeep. So with those lines made up, I don't think there's anything else to do besides bend some tube and build this mount. All right, got the second bend in, and as you can tell, it exits the corner at the exact same spot on both. So we know once I cut off all of the extra up here that we have a nice square piece that has the exact same bends in it. Initially, I wanted it to be a little bit steeper, but I think I like this more. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off all that extra material and test fit it on the Jeep. All right, now that the Ram mount is tacked to the front axle, the next step, at least for me, is going to be pulling that front axle out from underneath the Jeep. You definitely don't have to do this. You could definitely weld all of that under there, but I have to pull these struts anyway so I can weld the bottom sides of the fender tubes. So it's just gonna make the fabrication of this Ram mount that much easier if the axle's not under the Jeep. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that ripped out, set it over to the side so we can keep working on the fabrication of this double-ended Ram mount. Now that the axle is down on the ground, I was able to go ahead and weld out some of the tube in places that I won't be able to get to soon because I'm doing arts and crafts. I am turning this oil-covered cardboard into a 1/4 inch piece of steel that is going to be a plate where the Ram mount itself, the base, will weld to. Nothing too crazy here. I did go ahead and notch it and cut it so it'll actually go underneath the track bar mount, but yeah, I don't have a plasma cutter. All I have is a cutoff wheel. So that literally took me about an hour and a half to do. I imagine a plasma cutter would be sick to have out here in the garage. So hopefully I don't have any more big 1/4 inch projects anytime soon until I get a plasma. I'm gonna work on adding some drain holes to that plate and then we'll go ahead and get this tacked into place so I can finish my night. I'm smoked. I'm gonna call it for the night. I'll be back out here tomorrow and we'll work on the other side of the mount. Where we left off, we went ahead and got this one side of the mount done. I think in this hour, I can go ahead and get the other side of this mount figured out. It's gonna be a little bit tricky because we still need to be able to get the carrier out from inside the axle, past all of this, and we still need a place for that Ram to actually mount over on this side also. My one buddy, Steve Dalton, who is Rock Jeep TJ on Instagram, he sent me over pictures of how his setup is, and I like it. It's kind of like everything else on my Jeep, just a culmination of everybody's ideas, and I just pick a few of them and throw it towards my Jeep. I think we're gonna go with his design. So let's do that. Moment of truth. We'll see. Hopefully it passes. If not, I really don't feel like remaking this mount. So let's see if it pops out of there. All day. So it fits. So I guess that means we can throw this back together. We know that this is going to work. I guess we'll go ahead and cut out a piece of metal, get it tacked in there, and we'll finish up tonight with getting the Ram sitting on this mount. Couple days since I last filmed, and that's because the high steer arms were out getting machined. And in the background, I went ahead and got the front axle thrown back in the Jeep. Everything is all nice and painted up and reinstalled. Even went ahead and got the rotors thrown on there and the calipers all painted up. Now, since the axle is all back together, the next thing up is going to be making the tie rods that go from the high steer arm over to the Ram. Now, the downside, once again, my Go Team Blue Miller welder has let me down. So that's broken. I already went ahead and made the tie rods, but they need welded. I think I'm going to hit up Cody. We're gonna go over there, get these things welded out, come back to the house, paint them, and install them on the front axle. So let's do that. Just got my tie rods all welded up and still hanging out with the boys and watching a little bit of hammers for the rest of the evening. So plan is to hang out here a little bit, and then we're gonna head back home, get these painted up. They're still a little warm, and yeah, we'll go ahead and get them tossed on the Jeep. So see you at the house. Oh, thank you, Cody, for not letting me down and making sure that your welder works when mine doesn't. So
it works for now.
Yeah, we'll see you back at the house. Well, slight change of plans, moving along with this video. Basically, a family member needs to use my garage tomorrow, so I spent all morning slapping the Jeep back together so it would be mobile. Went ahead and got these tie rods painted up and installed, and we set the toe of the front axle, so that's all good. The front end's together. Pretty much the only thing left with that is plumbing all of the lines and setting the steering stops on the front end so we don't overextend that Ram. Since I need the garage tomorrow, I don't think we're gonna get to those King bump stops in this video, but we at least can go ahead and throw on my super American Yukon diff cover and get some fluid put in this front end. So let's go ahead, wrap up this video, get that installed, and shove the Jeep outside. Diff cover officially mounted, and man, does that look sick. You can't go wrong with the old red, white, and blue. Now, this cover I won in a giveaway. You can buy this cover, but it doesn't come out as American flag. Cody, the Altered YJ, he is a Cerakoter professionally, so when I won it, I told him I want it to look like an American flag, work your magic on it, and he knocked it out of the park. This thing is sick. Initially, I was just gonna keep it as wall art, but why not? We'll throw it on the front of the Jeep. If it gets scratched, so be it. It's a rock crawler. But yeah, everything is on there. We got fluid put in it. I think this front end is pretty much wrapped up, and so is this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this upload. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Follow me on Instagram, your boy @HunkofJunk, and we'll see you guys soon on the next upload. Later.